So a Trump re-election ad that ran on Twitter was using this red triangle symbol, the same symbol that the Nazis use to classify socialists, communists, anarchists, and people who protected Jews, and these people were sent to the concentration camps. And this is the symbol that the Trump campaign was using on their Facebook ad. I mean, obviously, hugely disgusting, tapping in to that hate, to that injustice, to all that death and suffering that the Nazis perpetrated against political prisoners, against Jewish people, against LGBTQ folks, against the Romas, against everybody who didn't fit into their little tight Aryan box of what they thought people should be or how they should behave. And this is the type of ad that Trump was running. Hugely disgusting and disturbing, but frankly not surprising. I mean, for fuck's sake, he I think he's still planning to hold that rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the same place, and I think it was on maybe like the anniversary of the Black Wall Street massacre that happened there. I mean, he calls Mexican people, criminals and rapists and all of these things. So it's not surprising, but hugely disgusting. Um, let's see. Let's go to that thread. So this is what the ad was. Dangerous mobs of move out. There you go. Of far left groups are running through our streets and causing absolute mayhem. They're destroying our cities and rioting. It's absolute madness. It's important that every American comes together at a time like this to send a united message that we will no longer stand for the radical actions any longer, and we support the Nazis. That's basically Donald Trump. We're calling on you to make a public again, but basically that's that is literally what Trump and his campaign is doing by saying they're against Antifa, anti-fascists, the people who fought against the Nazis, the people who stand up and fight and counter protest, white supremacists. So if you're not anti-fascist, you are fascist. Just like if you're not working constantly to be anti-racist, you're further perpetuating racist thought and action. Same thing with anti-fascists and fascists. Okay? It's not that hard to understand, at least it shouldn't be. We're calling on you to make a public statement and add your name to stand with President Trump against Antifa, because President Trump stands with the fascists. Please add your name immediately to stand with your president in his decision to declare Antifa a terrorist organization. Oh, Jesus Christ. And again, Antifa is not an organization. You MAGA bootlickers. Antifa is anti-fascist. People who are against fascism. People who are against Nazis. People who are against white supremacists. People who are against, brutal, repressive authoritarians. Not that fucking hard to understand. Jesus Christ. And so that is the red triangle that showed up. And let's take a look at what the Nazis used. Boom, right there. This is from the encyclopedia, the Holocaust Encyclopedia. I will link this I will link this site in the description box. So it says identifying prisoners, the Marken system. And from 1938, Jews in the camps were identified by a yellow star sewn into their prison uniforms, a perversion of the Jewish Star of David symbol. After 1939, and with some variation from camp to camp, the categories of prisoners were easily identified by a marking system combining a colored inverted triangle with lettering. The badges sewn into the prisoner's uniform enabled SS guards to identify the alleged grounds for incarceration. So there's the red triangle. Criminals are marked with green inverted triangles. Political prisoners With red, asocials including Roma, nonconformists, vagrants, and other groups, so political prisoners, like they pointed out. With black, or in the case of Roma, in some camps, brown triangles. Homosexuals were identified with pink triangles, and Jehovah's Witnesses with purple ones. Non-German prisoners were identified by the first letter of the German name for their home country, which was sewn onto their badge. The two triangles forming the Jewish star badge would both be yellow unless the Jewish prisoners included in one of the other prison categories. And I mean, so Facebook took down this horribly disgusting ad by the Trump re-election campaign, but not after it was seen by over 1 million people. I mean, Jesus Christ. Facebook on Thursday said, taken action against ads read by President Trump's re-election campaign for breaching its policies on hate. The ads, which attacked what the Trump campaign described as, quote, dangerous mobs of far-left groups, featured an upside-down triangle. The Anti-Defamation League said Thursday the triangle is practically identical to that used by the Nazi regime to classify political prisoners in concentration camps. Again, I just showed you the one that Trump used and the one that the Nazis used. Very similar. It was done for a reason. I mean, Jesus Christ. This is from Facebook. We removed these posts and ads for violating our policy against organized hate. Our policy prohibits using a banned hate groups symbol to identify political prisoners without the context that condemns or discusses a symbol. Andy Stone, a Facebook spokesperson, told CNN Business. The hate group to which Facebook was referring to its statements is Nazis, the company confirmed, indeed. Responding to criticism of the ad earlier, and this, I mean, Jesus Christ, this is like really the worst way you could try to explain this away. If they were smart, what they would have said is, I didn't. I mean, obviously, whatever reason they give, it's gonna look horrible because it's clear Donald Trump was trying to signal to his white supremacist, deeply racist base. All of those MAGA bootlickers who want to return to the old America, and this was just a dog whistle, if you will, to signal that. Responding to criticisms of the ad earlier Thursday, the Trump campaign claimed the red triangle was a symbol widely used by Antifa. You know who it's? Jesus Christ! It was widely used by the Nazis. You fucking racist dummies! Jesus Christ! The red triangle originated in concentration camps to identify political prisoners and other groups that were being targeted by the Nazis for extermination. Jesus Christ. The campaign pointed CNN Business to several links to poster, sticker, and magnet websites that sell unofficial merchandise designed by their users that contain the symbol. The campaign did not point to any examples of Antifa activists wearing the symbols. Because it's not a thing. It's not a thing. Oh, Jesus. The ADL, that's the Anti-Defamation League, said Thursday that some Antifa activists has used the symbol, but is not particularly common. And again, even if they did, by the Trump campaign using that on this Facebook ad, they were perpetuating Nazi symbol, Nazi oppression, Nazi persecution of political groups, political opponents, which is exactly what Trump's trying to do. No wonder why they used it. Again, it was a dog whistle to his, racist, white supremacist, Semitic base. And again, if you are supporting Trump at this point, you are condoning all of his, racist, transphobic, homophobic, xenophobic, sexist, misogynistic behavior, both with regards to his foreign and domestic policy. According to Facebook's political ad library, a set of ads featuring the offending symbol began running on Wednesday on Trump's main Facebook page, the Team Trump campaign page, and Vice President Mike Pence's Facebook page. The ad was seen almost 1 million times in Facebook users' feeds on Trump's page alone, according to data from Facebook. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. In a statement, Tim Murtaugh, director of communication for the Trump campaign, insisted the red triangle is a symbol used by Antifa. Murtaugh added, "We would note that Facebook still has an inverted red triangle emoji in use, which looks exactly the same, so it's curious that they would target only this ad. This image is also not included in the Anti-Defamation League's database, Symbols of Hate," he said. Responding to that defense, the ADL pointed out its database is not a database of historical Nazi symbols, but of symbols commonly used by modern extremists in the US. Trump is definitely a modern extremist, so I would suggest that they add that symbol to it. Facebook's removal of Trump's ads could escalate tensions between the White House and Silicon Valley. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg was criticized last month for not taking action on a Trump post that said looting leads to shooting amid racial unrest across the country. Twitter flagged the same Trump post on its platform as glorifying violence. I mean, Jesus. Again, not surprising, but deeply, deeply disgusting and a little Hitler-esque light in there maybe for Trump. I don't know. Yep, so it was on multiple pages. Let's see it. Well, this will probably be down. Let's see. Yeah, well, I'm not logged in anyways. I'd like to add that today would be a perfect day to permanently delete your Facebook account in protest of Facebook's ongoing promotion of fascism and genocide worldwide. Yeah, it's pretty nuts though. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's like mask off at this point. Trump's fucking campaign, Pence's campaign ads, running literal symbols that the Nazis used to designate their political prisoners in their concentration camps. Again, not surprising coming from Team Trump, but hugely, hugely disgusting and disturbing, and we should all be outraged by it, frankly.